Welcome to Chess Talk, episode 240. Almost did it again.
Fuck.
I was in my head so much.
Get
it's
your shit
254.
Yeah.
Episode 254. I never make mistakes.
Never.
We're here to play some
perfect.
chess and talk. I am playing chess against a robot. Let's see how quick I lose. That's the new slogan. It's just Brittany and I. Two of us. Chloe's in the room, but we'll see how long that lasts. And yeah, this is probably going to be the get up for the next 10 episodes. As I think we've mentioned before, we are moving. We're going to be moving up to Utah 4th of July weekend. So we will probably start pre-recording a good chunk of episodes. So if we get less and less topical, hey,
Sorry.
pardon our dust.
We're busy.
We're going to get into it. We're going to finish Space Force, some other topics, and then we watched another movie that is near and dear to your heart. You haven't seen in a couple of years, and I have never seen. Mm-hmm. And yeah, let's get into it. How was your week?
Fine. I started my new job this week.
It was not stressful.
Yeah, it was. The only thing that was stressful about it was technology failed every day.
Like every step of the way.
Yeah, and that was really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Because it would work one day, and then it wouldn't work the next. Or it would work in the morning, and then not in the afternoon. And I'm fucking tired of technology.
Yeah.
But I am excited about my new job.
That's good. I am too. Aside from that, you played more Skyrim.
I did. That's nothing new there. Just Skyrim.
Completing different storylines. What's the storyline you're on right now?
Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah. Because you just finished... Because you finished the Thieves Guild a couple sessions ago, and then you were just doing, like, miscellaneous quests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was trying to, like, clear out my log so it wasn't so backed up, and then that didn't really work out. So I keep, like, in the middle of doing the main quest line I'm doing, I, like, talk to someone, and then they give me, like, a side quest. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah.
So it's fine. But I'm doing the Dark Brotherhood. I am running away from Solitude after I killed the Emperor.
So you got a busy...
Oh yeah, when I jump back into it, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, that's fun. Sorry, chess is already...
You're lost.
Stupid. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I hope not, but...
Can you change the difficulty?
Yeah, we've talked about it. I'm on the lowest difficulty. I have always been.
Get good.
Boy, do I wish. So yeah, Skyrim, that's good. Anything else you've been doing or
I don't think so.
stressing? You sold your car?
I did sell my car.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because they gave you money.
Yeah, they gave me like over double what the Kelly Blue Book value of it is, so I'm not complaining. And it was a dealership. I didn't just like scam someone out of out of their money. Like a dealership looked at it and they were like, "We'll give you this much." And I was like, "Okay, take it now."
Okay, sir. If that's what you say.
And even after test driving it, they didn't change it.
It's not like...
It wasn't
there
a piece of shit.
Yeah, there were not major issues with your car.
No, just issues that I didn't feel like taking with us.
Yeah. And the whole logistics of moving another vehicle and yeah, it just added a lot, and you got a good penny's worth for the car.
Which will help our upfront costs with moving.
Sure will.
Moving's expensive.
Yeah. I mean,
No one tells you that.
Moving in state is fine. Moving in the same city.
It's still a lot, but...
Yeah. But not when you are moving to a new state and your lease is going to overlap with your existing lease for a month. So
yeah,
we planned it great. Life is nice that way, where everything just works out.
Lies. Don't lie to them.
Lies and slander. I can't think of anything else big you did for moving. We're just packing more. I packed up all my 12-inch records. Brittany's staring at all the boxes. I have 9 boxes.
I'm only counting 8.
There's one right there.
But I'm sure. I believe you.
Oh, it's right behind me. Literally, I'm blocking
Okay.
it. 9 boxes of records.
That's a lot.
And that's not even the 7 inches.
Yeah.
So, a lot of boxes. But hey, if you need to pack some records, the U-Haul small box.
Yeah.
Perfect size. Just get some packing peanuts for the sides. You're good to go.
How was your week?
Fine. Yeah, just working. Got the big interview coming up Friday.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed on that. Some other offers waiting, which are always exciting but nerve-wracking. Didn't play too much Bloodborne this week, if at all. Played some more League. We had my sister and her fiance over yesterday for a game night.
Yeah.
And we played Lords of Waterdeep, but with the expansion, which we had never played before. And I actually enjoyed the expansion. I felt like it added a good amount of variety and different strategies to the game, which was needed, I would say, because the main thing, if you play with both expansions, which we did, adds the Skullport. Was it Skullport?
Yeah.
Scoundrel of Skullport?
Skullport.
Yeah,
Sure.
that part of the expansion set, it adds a piece called Corruption. And so if you land on the Skullport spaces or do the Skullport quests, their rewards are typically a lot better, but you take Corruption, and if you have a lot of Corruption at the end of the game, you'll lose a lot of points. So it's this balance of how many do I take versus how many do I reasonably think I can return or give to someone else. So I really enjoyed the expansion. How did you like the game?
It was good. Who won, Cody?
Yeah, why do you like the game?
Because who won, Cody?
You won.
I won.
Yeah.
I won. It was
I
great.
feel like I won maybe the first or second game, and then I haven't won a single game of Lords of Waterdeep.
Your sister still won the most.
Yeah, definitely. And she was in the lead up until like the final scoring because she didn't do enough quests.
Yeah.
Because there were the like bullshit part of the expansion is it put just a ton of quests with like 40 points as a reward.
Yeah, all three of you got one of those. I didn't.
Yeah. But you got one like 20-point reward that took 3 adventurers. And that was it.
It was 2 adventurers, but I had to spend like 10 coins to get the points, I think. Something like that. Yeah. I don't know.
But I feel like you can get that way quicker than 3 clerics.
Yeah.
So.
And I was not doing well because every time I would try to get first place, someone would take it from me. And then I finally completed a quest that let me put Corruption on the first place.
Yeah, the action space.
Yeah.
That's what they called it.
So if someone went there, they would have to take Corruption, and no one wanted that. So I had first place the rest of the game.
I was waiting for Jordan to just do it.
Yeah, I thought at a certain point he'd be like, fuck it.
Because he was just being ridiculous and just...
He was just causing chaos and didn't care at the end.
I think he had like 20 intrigue cards, and if you've listened to us play on 240, like...
You don't need that many intrigue cards.
You don't, like, they can help you, but having that many doesn't help you because you don't get points for them. Yeah. So it was just...
He just wanted to cause chaos.
Yeah, he was just making it his priority to, like, have as many intrigue as he could.
You know, made it fun. Yeah, it's a fun game.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll play it more, definitely, again, on the podcast at some point. I think that's it. I think we're ready to get into the topics. One thing that I didn't prep you on, but it got announced, and we haven't talked about it because we just keep forgetting to, the Dark Season 3 trailer. And the release date.
Yeah. I didn't watch the trailer.
I do not want to watch the trailer because I think every season I've gone into the show blind, and that's how I want to go into the final season. And if you're a fan of the show, very good. And the trailer announced the date, which is June 27th.
Yes.
And that's
the date of the apocalypse.
Within the show's universe is like that's...
No, it's real.
Yeah.
It's a real apocalypse. That's what I was talking about.
I wonder what their marketing team is going to do for... what apocalypse they're going to set off for 2020.
Oh, fuck.
So I just wanted to throw that out there that we're aware that it's coming. We are going to watch it. But like I mentioned at the top, since a lot of these episodes are probably going to be pre-recorded, we might not get to Dark until the 260s for us.
Yeah.
But I highly anticipate it being contended for Show of the Year. Yeah. But I mean, think about Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Better Call Saul.
You gave that a 10.
It was just so good.
It was, but Dark. If Dark doesn't do any other consistent montages, I will be happy. Yeah. I hope that was a one and done season thing.
Yeah, because I don't remember any of that in the first season.
It wasn't a thing.
I kind of want to rewatch the show.
Yeah, you probably should. We probably should.
Yeah.
Same with Westworld if we ever get around to it.
That's less of a priority.
I know, and I don't know if you remember, but I asked my dad if he watched it, and his response...
I wish I didn't. He was just so quick with it. Like, he didn't even have to think about it. He's just ready for someone to ask him at all times, what do you think of Westworld? And he was probably just like, fucking sucks.
Yep.
That's what he was waiting to say.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Anyway, I'm excited about Dark. I think it's one of the most slept on shows.
I wouldn't be surprised if it has maybe not like a cult.
It kind of does. Like, every now and then it'll be like towards the top of like television subreddit.
Right.
And then like no one else talks about it for
ever
a year.
Yeah. And I mean, since it's almost done or it's on its final season, maybe like with that big hype, like people will start paying attention to it. Yeah. Like that same thing happened in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So
I think once it's complete and someone can view it for the first time in its complete package, I think it'll be more exciting.
Yeah, because waiting a year between...
It's hard because it's so, like...
dense.
High concept.
It's a dense show.
I keep forgetting that it's coming out.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to
We probably won't really have time to watch it until after we move.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And with however good we are about pre-recording, we might not need to record until we're already like settled and fully moved in. So we'll just have to wait and see. Fuck this computer. I'm like in a good position where I will potentially win. He just keeps like, yay, I did it.
You won?
I did it.
Good job.
I got it set up in such a way that I was able to have 2 queens on the board at the same time.
How?
If you get your pawn to the end, you can pick a queen.
Even though you already have a queen? That's weird.
It's just rare that you can do that while your queen is still alive. Usually it's like...
In, like, normal chess, what do you use when there's no extra queen?
I think what you would do is just... Because I think this has happened with me and Eddie before, and it's just like you pick a piece and you're like, okay, this is a second queen. And you both just, like, agree, like, okay, yeah, that represents your second queen. So you just remember that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fuck you, computer. I finally won. So yeah, Dark. Excited about that.
Yeah.
Who knows when we'll talk about it, but it will be talked about.
Yes.
It will be discussed. Did you listen to more Run the Jewels?
Yeah.
Did you really? I didn't think it'd be a huge topic.
No.
But I mean, comparing it to their work, where does it stand? Like a fairly consistent, like a good piece of Run the Jewels.
Yeah.
That's a meaty pie.
I feel like RTJ3 was very, like, I'm saying poppy, not in, like, pop music, but, like, it had a lot more, like, hits and, like, things that I could hear, like, as singles.
I think it was way more upbeat.
Yeah. I don't mean just upbeat, though. Like, they had that, like, radio-friendly, like, even though the language isn't radio-friendly, like, the beats and it just seemed much more...
For all you kids...
accessible and, like, definitely, like, you could pick out, like, oh, that's a single. I could hear that on the radio.
For all you kids, Brittany's trying to say that album had a lot of bangers.
Yes. Anyway, but I feel like RTJ2 was a lot more, like, it's going to sound like I'm saying RTJ3 isn't, but I'm going to say RTJ2 is more cohesive as an album, and, like, you listen to it from start to finish, and it just feels like one giant, like, song, basically.
There's a message. There's a theme.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like this album went back to.
Yes.
Where there weren't any, like, you know, I could pick that out and be like, I could listen to that over and over again, and that's going to be a banger when they go on tour. Like, none of that. Even though it will be exciting if they go on tour eventually, when tours can happen again in this world. But from start to finish, I very much enjoyed it. I couldn't pick one song out, maybe for like 1 or 2 that were like, damn, that was really cool. But altogether, the whole package is, oof, yeah. That's that good Run the Jewels.
I would say I still hold Run the Jewels 3 as my favorite of theirs. I'm just pulling up the track list.
Yeah.
My biggest gripe with this album was just the second song, the Ooh La La.
I liked Ooh La La.
It was okay. It's just I didn't like the sample, and that's like the entire. It was grating. Like it was the hook, and it was just like there's every once in a while there's a hook where I'm just like, it's just annoying.
I think musically, I don't know theoretically what it's called, but it does some really cool things musically, like that don't follow like a set scale of notes. It was cool. I don't remember what it's called because I haven't taken a music class in 9 years.
Yeah, who knows how long.
9 years.
But I mean, yeah, you got Yankee and the Brave, then Ooh La La, which Out of Sight with 2 Chains, Holy Kalamafuck.
Yeah.
Which I said like that's the subtitle for 2020.
Yeah.
Which is good. Goonies versus E.T. Another banger. Walking in the Snow, which has...
I really like Walking in the Snow.
It's a good song, but the chorus is so stupid.
I mean, if you think of it literally, it's not literal.
Okay.
I don't like, and I can't remember if they credited her in RTJ2, but they didn't credit Gangsta Boo on that song. She
is not credited on as a writer, as a producer, or featured on it.
Is she credited on her RTJ2 song?
Give me a sec, I'll find her.
Love Again.
Yeah, she is.
Okay, she's credited on Love Again.
Yeah, but I didn't know that was Gangsta Boo. I figured it was something that they worked with in the past.
They say Gangsta Boo in the song.
Oh, they do?
So technically, she's credited
verbally.
credited during the lyrics, but not on the track, which I don't know. I don't like when that happens. Unless it's like Coldplay had Beyonce on a song once and they didn't like credit her in the track name. But when you listen to it, it's like supposed to be like, oh my God, it's Beyonce, and like a surprise because it's such a recognizable voice.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the same here.
No.
I think they should have credited her.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Unless she, for some reason, didn't want to.
They probably worked it out. Maybe like you mentioned, it's part of the theme of the song.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, then you got Zach De La Roca coming back for Just.
What was his like repetitive line this time? Because I was listening to it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good song.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'll just leave it at that for the track list, but overall, I do enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I know Anthony Fantano, Needledrop, Melonhead, the music critic on YouTube that I always reference, just to get some quote-unquote outside perspective outside of like the people I know.
Yeah. He
gave it an 8 out of 10. Which apparently he's given every RTJ album an 8 out of 10. Yeah. So fairly consistent.
I just don't know what his credentials are.
He listens to a lot of music.
Okay. A lot of people listen to a lot of music.
He's the one that has over 1 million subscribers.
Okay.
It's not like his word is law. Like
I know.
It's just I like seeing other perspectives on it.
Yeah, that's fine. I prefer hearing from like other musicians that have that know how to play music. And
what if he had like a
music.
degree from a musical theory degree?
Then yeah, I totally trust his opinion.
Okay.
But I don't think he does.
You don't know that?
I don't know, but if he does, okay.
Mm-hmm. Giving so much weight to this piece of paper.
It's more than just the piece of paper. It's
I know.
That he spent time and
Yes, I
learning
know.
The ins and outs.
But couldn't he do that just by virtue of listening to so much music and wanting to like understand?
Yeah.
How so?
I think it's not that he has to have a degree to be an expert. It's just I don't know. I think I just don't. Whatever. No, because he does like dissect songs and things. That isn't just like, man, that was dumb. Like he talks about like the rhythms and hooks that songs use and how they like structure the album and like how it flows and the features that they decide on and things like that. So I mean, like he does come at it as like a very analytical person, memes aside. So what memes?
There are tons. Like every video you look at, there are comments where it's like, Anthony, you just spent 9 minutes yelling at the top of your lungs. This isn't a review. There's just comments just like that, like where it's not relevant at all, but it's just funny. Anyways, good album. I think I would put it RTJ3, RTJ4, 2, 1. And if you want a number, I'd probably give this one 8 out of 10.
Okay. I'm not ready to rate it.
Yeah.
I need to listen to it more, and I will listen to it more.
How would you rank it amongst?
I don't know yet.
Before this album came out, what would you rank the albums? 3, 2, 1?
2, 3, 1.
There's RTJ. Let's lift off into
Okay, I'm done.
Our Space Force final discussion. We watched episodes 7 through 10. We're done with it.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
I'll need reminders of what each episode was about.
I will get that pulled up.
Okay.
So spoilers for the entirety of Space Force. It's on Netflix. Go watch it.
Yeah, it's an easy watch.
So episode 7 was Edison James.
Oh, Caitlin Olsen.
James. Yep, Caitlin Olsen. Then we had Conjugal Visit.
Yep.
Then we had It's Good to Be Back on the Moon. And then Proportionate Response was the finale.
Okay.
Does that give you a reminder?
I think so, yeah.
Edison James was, I think, a pretty good episode. I did enjoy. I thought it was fun because I think it was definitely poking fun at Musk and like Musk types.
No, she's a parody of that one chick.
Elizabeth Holmes?
Yes, her.
I'd never heard of her.
She had some big weird like controversy recently because of weird science things she was doing. Yeah, in 2018, the SEC charged her with deceiving investors through false or exaggerated claims about the accuracy of her company's blood testing technology. So they were definitely poking fun at her. Okay. And her big scandal.
Her faux science.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. I never heard of her before, so.
Yeah, I think they made like either Netflix or Hulu had a documentary about her, and that's the only reason I heard about her at all.
HBO documentary, The Inventor, Out for Blood in Silicon Valley.
Yeah. They're making fun of her.
Well, they did a good job of it then.
Yes.
But you didn't care for that episode?
It was fine.
Yeah.
I don't remember any like standout jokes from it.
I just imagine Ben Schwartz was killing it.
Yeah. Was that episode or the next episode the one where they were doing like the interviews for...
I think it was the next episode.
Okay. Then yeah, that one was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that Edison James, that's when Dr. Chan and Captain Ali first interact and they start their botany course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Conjugal Visit, next one, where General Naird goes to have sex with his prisoned wife, and she is
wants
like,
an open marriage.
We should see other people because I'll be here forever.
Yeah, I mean, I know you probably won't like it, but like she was trying to be fair to him, understanding like you're a man, you have needs, and I'm not. My situation isn't changing anytime soon, and I want you to know that I will be okay if you want to go take care of your needs with someone.
Go bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it was a mature thing.
She approached it really well.
Yeah.
He wasn't approaching it good at all because he was clearly not okay with it, but he wasn't just saying that.
Yeah.
He kept just trying to say how good they were together, but no.
Yeah.
So I was frustrated by just his approach to it all.
Yeah, because it's totally okay to not want that, but he needs to say it.
Yeah.
And not just get forced into it.
But it happens anyway, so whatever.
But he's fine. He likes, what's her face?
I don't even know her name.
Kelly.
Oh, okay. The
Kelly.
Construction designer person.
Contractor.
Yeah. Labor.
Yeah. Anyway.
And that's when they start doing the interviews.
Yes.
It says Dr. Chan and Captain Ali carpool.
Oh,
and she gets her eyes. We learn about their K-pop, and he yells about anime.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Mallory deals with the time crunch, where they need to hire people ASAP.
Yeah. I just remember that one because he had to work with Ben Schwartz the whole time.
Fuck Tony.
Yeah.
And then next episode, back on the moon. They got their people. They got the weird janitor person that looks like a Toby.
He's either an electrician or an HVAC guy because that's the only two things they needed. So he's one of those.
I think he's HVAC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one weird lady that brought her goddamn bird.
That's weird and asks a million questions.
Yeah. So is that the episode where the beginning is the panel with all the astronauts and then the reporters are asking questions and as they're asking really like bad questions that they're good questions that will just have bad answers.
Yes.
He's like threatening to kill them.
And every time General Naird gives a response, Ben Schwartz or Fuck Tony goes, "What a great answer to a terrible question. Yeah. All right, you please."
I love Ben Schwartz.
And then when the fucking article comes out about the HVAC guy, how he's like a convicted criminal like multiple times over and will not admit that he didn't even do some sort of check on them. And so Naird has to go and yell at him, which I think was the funniest scene. And part of me like wishes I could hear it, but then at the same time, like I get how it's a lot funnier when you're just listening to like the muffled screams as everyone's just kind of like staring at each other.
I think that was also the episode with the good John Malkovich rant when he was like drunk. I can't remember what they were trying to solve. Oh, where to land because the Chinese. Yeah, okay.
They claimed it as scientific.
It was just peak John Malkovich.
Because he had like just a monologue where he's sitting at his desk drunk, just complaining about the lead Chinese scientist and just how he's not actually a good scientist and it's all nepotism and I will fuck you up.
True John Malkovich coming out. Because he's very much the straight man for most of the show.
Until these last two episodes, pretty much.
Oh, God. Into the last episode. What is it? Proportionate response?
Yep. So the episode 9, they did land on the moon. Hooray.
It's good to be black on the moon.
That was Captain Ali's first words. Such a... I don't know, just like you can't, it's the train wreck. It's cringe.
Yeah.
Like you could just feel so bad. Short and proud. That's what it is. Just like, oh my God.
It was sad because it's cool. She's the first black woman on the moon.
And now she's
memed. She got TikToked.
Yeah.
In the next episode.
But the episode ends with the Chinese moon team the moon team rolling over the American flag
from
on the
the
moon.
Apollo 11 landing.
Right. And so the finale is all about how do they get payback? How do they retaliate without causing some sort of lunar war?
Which was someone's solution.
Yeah. It was the Air Force's solution to just bomb them. And John Malkovich is hyper against it the entire episode.
He threatens to set himself on fire.
With Fuck Tony watching.
Recording. He was filming it.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recording it, and then Brad shows up and he's supposed to tell him to stop, but he doesn't. So Mallory's like, wait,
I changed my mind.
I think I made my point here. That has a great scene, or the story, the B story, I guess, with daughter, your favorite character.
She never has consequences for what she does, and it's so annoying because that's not what the child of someone in the military acts like.
Or it is, because they keep getting away with it. Because after the conjugal visit thing, the daughter finds out and is very upset about it because she has no one, or teenager bullshit.
Yeah.
And then she just is drinking on the job and serving like alcoholic acai bowls, and so she gets fired, and then she just goes to a gas station and goes with these guys to a quote-unquote party and ends up in the middle of the desert,
and they're like
doing meth.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get back, and her dad is arrested in his own base. The guy she's kind of talking to is arrested right next to him. And then her mom's in prison.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh shit, things are going to go bad for her for once. And then jumping ahead, but just the dad gets out of his handcuffs or zip tie, and then gets a helicopter and saves her. And her mom is also there.
She escaped from prison with the guard.
Because she can do that. And
then they are flying in the helicopter, and it's like, hey, we need your help, but if you come back, you're
court-martialed.
Yeah. And then it ends. And I know it sounds like a lot just happened, but because it did.
Yeah. Because on top of that, what you also have is up on the moon, the Americans go and dismantle the Chinese base because Air Force guy took control of Space Force and made that the order.
Yeah.
And then while they were doing that, the Chinese people
did the same thing
for them. And so now both sides are stuck up there without a base, and then like it cuts to them flying away in the helicopter where it's like, hey, what do you do? And then that episode ends. Yeah. Season ends.
Yeah. You were so annoyed about it.
I don't know. It feels like they just wanted so bad to get more episodes that's why they did that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just felt like I would have liked a more self-contained season 1 as opposed to this, what feels like and what is a partially done season.
Yeah.
That's why I'm frustrated by it.
Yeah. I see it.
That's my biggest complaint with this show.
My biggest complaint is it all just felt really rushed at the end.
That's what I'm saying. It's like up until episode 9, I was consistently saying, what is the point of the show? Is there going to be multiple seasons? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh yeah, we do need to have some sort of hook and some sort of plot overarching in the show. And then they just like spat it out at you in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It felt rushed and just ended.
But overall, the show was a lot better than I thought it would be.
I
thought it would be pretty bad, but it definitely made me laugh more than it made me like roll my eyes.
Yeah, no, I didn't think it was going to be bad at all. I just thought it was going to be okay. I thought it was going to be a show. I thought I'd get some chuckles. I definitely thought it ended up funnier than I went in thinking it would be, but I didn't think it was going to be terrible. I didn't think it was going to be amazing. So I'm walking away with like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like pleasantly surprised, but not
blown away.
No, it is not my show of the year or...
Yeah. My biggest takeaway, though, is Ben Schwartz should be in every show.
Ever. His career just needs to blow up. I don't know why it took him so long to break out on... I'm assuming it's Parks and Rec. That's probably where he really got noticed, but...
Because he played the best character.
Yeah, and he's still playing that character, and man, is it working.
Anyway.
So, I mean, yeah, show is okay. I think that's
It was fun. It was a fun time.
Yes. If this show ends up becoming a very long-running show, it will definitely fall off to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they can somehow cap it at 2 or 3 seasons, then that is a sweet spot.
Yeah.
You could probably say that with a lot of shows, but I think with this show specifically, like it's also, now that you're on the moon, I just worry what you do next, because eventually you're just going to run into the same problems, even if it's on Mars or whatever. Like, you can only do so much, in my opinion.
Yeah. I feel like maybe, just maybe, TV is trending towards a much shorter form. So they'll either do, like, people are more interested in watching the miniseries or the, you know, here's a regular show, but we're only planning on like 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Because I think people are starting to realize, like, the longer things go on, they just get worse.
Yeah.
And I know that's really cynical and not always the case, but there's so much potential with shows if you just kind of keep them within like a self-contained story, and it can be told over 1 season, it can be told over like 3 seasons, as long as you have a plan and don't try to like milk the cash cow, I guess, which I know it's hard.
And I think it's also, people aren't watching the network television as much anymore, and that's where that format worked, and it gave people long careers, and there was a lot of money in it, and now that people are watching it less, it's probably also networks and streaming services are like, we're not going to make shows that long because people don't watch that many seasons of one show. So yeah, I think it's definitely a conscious decision.
Yeah, I hope that's how it continues to go, because there have been some really good gems coming out of the like self-contained stories. Like, you know, Chernobyl I think counts, even though it's based on a real event, and Dark is a really self-contained series. Yeah. So I hope that's the trend from now on.
You ready to rate it?
Yeah.
Out of 10 what?
Out of 10 acai bowls. I don't know.
Out of 10, I'm trying to think of what Ben Schwartz did or had. Out of 10 Wendy's themed tweets.
Sure. Okay. I'd give it a 6.
Yeah. 6, maybe 6.5.
Yeah.
That's where I stand.
Yeah. Definitely enjoyable.
Above average. So there you go, Space Force. In the closet you go with all the other ratings. See you never.
See you next season.
Maybe.
I'd watch another season.
If it happens. So, last topic. It's our movie of the week. The theme is a movie that ideally neither of us have seen, or a movie one of us hasn't seen and the other hasn't seen in a while. Something to that effect. And it's also, you know, acclaimed. It has awards, or it has a lot of fan love for it. And what movie is it this week?
Annie Hall.
Oh, by Woody Allen.
Don't say his name.
Well, he is the main character and the director.
I know, and he's... God.
I
don't like that fact.
You chose this movie.
I know.
Knowing all of it.
I know.
So, it's a comedy romance, hour and a half long, came out in 1977. PG is the rating, which I think is crazy because there was a lot of sex scenes. I'm sure it's just because it didn't show like anything.
Yeah.
Why do you like this movie as much as you do? Let's start with that.
That's a loaded question. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, like, why did you pick it? Why do you think, like, why did you want me to watch it?
It's a hard question. I don't know. I just like the movie. I don't know. I think it's, you know, it's kind of a traditional rom-com, but I think it's a little more irreverent than modern day rom-coms, which are just fucking cheese fests, which is fine. I'm not knocking it. They make it for some people that like it, and that's fine. I think the heart behind this movie means a lot to me. At least, you know, the last line of the movie is kind of why I really like the movie, because it shows more of the couple breaking up than them falling in love. Like, it shows that even though relationships are crazy and you bicker and you break up and you get back together and you fight about nonsense because he's obsessed with death or she's just kind of a ditz and drives terribly. Like, with all the craziness, you need the eggs. You need the eggs. And they make you feel better. Relationships make you feel better.
Do you think, I'm sure this isn't the first movie of this type, but do you think this kind of like cemented the archetype for these kind of movies, because when we were watching it, I was like, oh, so this is like a old marriage story.
I don't think it's Marriage Story at all. I think it's like, because it's mostly a story of how they broke up and why they broke up.
And New York and
California.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know enough about the history of film to say if this was the first of its type, but it definitely reminds me of 500 Days of Summer, where it'll like juxtapose like each character's opinions of what situation is, and they're like similar but also like the opposite like interpretations of what the other person is thinking.
Yeah.
And that was a very common theme in 500 Days of Summer. And it's also the same kind of like manic pixie dream girl trope that gets used. And I think it's one of the first to kind of break the fourth wall and do some kind of creative things.
Yeah.
Like when they're in line for the movie and the guy behind them's like trying to say, like, interpret this famous guy's quotes, or I don't know anything about the guy that he was quoting, but they like had the guy like make a cameo and basically fulfill that fantasy of the guy that you're quoting is going to tell you you're wrong. And then when they're having sex and she like leaves her own body because she's just so bored.
Yeah, she's just not into it.
Yeah.
Because she's not high.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it does some creative things that, well, today, like, that's pretty, you know, you've seen stuff like that all the time, I'm sure. But back then it was just so different.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I definitely see that. But yeah, I couldn't help but think about Marriage Story, and even there was an episode of Master of None that felt very similar to this. Yeah. Which, like, so that's why I just brought up that question, because, like, this does, it wouldn't surprise me if this was one of the early or first, or one of the first types to really, like, do this kind of story where it's, to me, it was almost hard to keep up with on first watch, like, when the scenes were happening.
Yeah.
Because it plays around with time a lot, and so it's, I don't know, that tripped me up.
Non-linear storytelling.
And you don't know that right away.
Yeah.
It takes a while, maybe like 30 minutes into the movie, where you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, there were scenes with Annie, like, I think the lobster scene was pretty early on. And then, like, you see a couple scenes later when they first meet.
Met. Yeah.
So it's like, wow.
Yeah. It's just, it starts with showing all, like, the happy times and the good memories, and they get through that really quick, and then it goes to all the differences they had. And
yeah, which I think is how these kind of stories work. It's like they front load the happy stuff, so that way you can then see it fall apart.
Yeah.
And so you're left wondering why.
There's no why. It's just they were different people who wanted different things and enjoyed different things, and they romanticized each other at first because that's what you do when you're in a honeymoon phase.
Yeah, no, she
I love you.
So stupid. I fucking hated that scene. I just didn't.
It wasn't supposed to be like cute and cheesy. It was just supposed to be like they're so fucking like infatuated with each other, and they just met.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you, like, another big complaint of mine with this movie is that
Woody Allen's in it,
and it's just so self-masturbatory because he is
Woody Allen.
Yeah, this is honestly probably my first movie I've ever seen of his, and it's just he writes himself as this guy that's really good at sex, and he's a comic where everyone loves him, and he's this famous comic where people on the street walk up to him. It's just it really took me out of the movie. Like, it made it hard to get that he's
not a very likable person, and I can't believe he scores these very beautiful women.
Yes, because, like, you see him in bed and he's just this weird lanky fucking balding guy, and I'm like, why are they with you?
Because he's funny.
But he's not. He's just an annoying asshole, like, every scene he's in, and I'm like, why?
Woody Allen.
Like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't even thinking about it with all his, like, personal stuff in real life. It was just, like, from this character and knowing that he is the director of it. Yep. And the screenplay writer. It's just, get out of your ass a little bit, please.
Yeah. It was, to me, it just feels like Woody Allen wanted to tell his life story if it was better than it actually was. I don't know. He dated Diane Keaton for a while, and he married Mia Farrow, and he scored all these really hot chicks.
I would hope that his real life personality is different than Alvy Singer's.
I don't think so.
Either way, he does like kind of preface that like if this is his life story at the beginning, where he talks about like even as a kid he had this crazy imagination where he let his fantasies run wild. So if this is his like dramatization of his own life, then yeah, that makes sense. But it's still just, it would be so much better if you just had someone else play the main character.
Yeah.
And then it's fine, it's great.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it about yourself, just fuck you.
Yeah. I get it. But I know it's hard when you know how terrible the person is. At least for me it is. But I very much enjoy the themes of this movie. You need the eggs.
Do you think it's worthy of its... On IMDb, it has an 8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, 98%. Metacritic, 92.
I think it also won Best Picture the year it came out.
Probably. Yeah, Best Picture. Let's look it up. Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Original Screenplay, Best Director.
Yeah.
And a bunch of Golden Globes, BAFTAs.
Yeah.
Bunch of awards.
It won all of those or nominated for all of those?
These are just the awards, yeah.
That it won?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think for the time it came out, like if you set it in its cultural context, yes, it definitely deserved it.
Yeah.
Now it's like probably nothing special compared to all the movies that have come out and have told like a similar story.
No.
But I think for the time it came out, it was so different and so, I don't want to say quirky, but kind of is quirky filmmaking that you don't see too often with some weird long shots of like, wait, where are the characters that are talking? Oh, there they are. Or like you see it from their perspective, or people like leave their own bodies. And
yeah, because I mean, compared to fucking Godfather, and it's like
there's a lot more interesting things happening.
Yeah, there's the fourth wall breaks, like you said, and talking, at the camera, like as if like the audience, that's fourth wall breaking, but I mean, just like doing weird things that like shouldn't exist in the universe, and like comparing that to other movies at the time, like it's clear why it won the awards. Yeah. Do you think the rating is correct? Like, would you rate it that highly?
I would, but I might be a little biased.
Yeah, because when did you first watch this movie?
2015.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was only a few years ago.
Yeah, that's weird. I thought like you'd seen it you probably still have seen it a lot. No?
I think this was probably the second time I watched it.
Wow. Look at that.
It was good enough to me to be my Halloween costume that year.
Yeah.
And I looked cute as shit.
Yep. Little Annie Hall.
La-di-da.
Yeah, is that what you said all night?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fine. I don't plan on ever watching it again. I'm sorry.
That's fine. You don't have to.
I won't.
I'm glad you watched it the one time, and I'm sure the run time
that helped.
Was very helpful.
Yeah, because like I could definitely tell like when it was wrapping up, I was like, oh, okay, we're getting close to the end. It made it very clear like the flow of the movie, and I appreciated that. He
had a story to tell, and he told it, and he was done.
Right. Always appreciate when they do that, at least. So yeah, I definitely get all the awards it got, the ratings it got. Do I personally enjoy it? Meh. I think maybe if I watch the 500 Days of Summer or the other movies that I'm sure exist that are similar to this, I would get a appreciation for this movie and the sort of like precedent it's set. But compared to Marriage Story is a lot better.
Yeah, because it wasn't starring Noah Baumbach
and Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
So I would probably give this, like a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, like a 6. Because it does have funny moments and stuff, but just Sigourney Weaver's in it.
In what?
Annie Hall, apparently at the end.
Who was she?
She's like not even like, she doesn't have a character name or anything. Like at the end when he meets Annie again, she was his date.
Oh.
Yeah. There are so many weird cameos, like Christopher Walken's in it. Jeff Goldblum has a small scene.
It was before he was like in things. I think Sigourney Weaver was her first on-screen appearance.
Probably. Paul Simon.
Yeah, from like Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, okay, I was like, that's probably a big name. He's in it.
Who is he?
Tony Lacey.
That was Paul Simon?
Yeah, who's Tony Lacey?
The guy in California that she ends up going to live with.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's Paul
the music
Simon?
guy. Yep, that is definitely him.
That's funny.
Yeah, wow.
I didn't realize that was him.
So any other thoughts on Annie Hall?
Nope.
I'd say.
Don't excuse Woody Allen's behavior, but
No.
it is a good movie. I'm sorry.
Don't buy the movie.
Yeah, don't support it.
Stream it. And, like, you know,
yeah.
on the high seas.
You know, don't give him your money. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's a terrible person.
But that'll do it for this episode. Another classic-ish movie down. Mm-hmm. We'll see what we bust out
Maybe
for
another more modern one.
Next week? Yeah. I'm sure we will.
I had an idea I wanted to run by you later.
Ooh. I already know what 2 episodes from now it's going to be, so we can go over that. But yeah, that's going to do it. Next week, we're going to start watching The Great and going over that. It's a show on Hulu all about Catherine the Great. Mm-hmm. So if you want to watch along, we're going to do 2 episodes at a time. And I think that's it. Make sure you give us a rating. Check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher.
All the things.
Tell your dog.
Yeah, tell your dog we said hello and give him like a pet for us.
Chloe says hello to you. I'm sure if we wanted her to yell, she would do it on command. And we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.